Nicole, when was the last time you actually listened to your gut?
I always do, because nutrition in midlife is so important. And we know that there's a lot of misleading health advice out there. And most of what we're taught about food is wrong. Did you know that Big Food even pays TikTok influencers to say that ultra-processed foods are healthy when they're not?
I actually find that shocking, but it's no wonder that 1 in 8 people globally, that's over 1 billion people, are living with obesity.
So our sponsor Zoe understands that our health is suffering and that it's time we listened to our gut.
They make your gut health their business. And as we've learned in over 5 years of doing podcasts, gut health is key to overall health.
Your Zoe membership starts by testing your gut health, and it's backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests. Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Listen, we know better than anyone else, being in the self-care space, that the start of every new year is noisy with loads of health advice that's often full of hot air and rubbish. But Zoe is the solution that you can trust.
Zoe is the science and nutrition company leading a movement to transform the health of millions. And Zoe membership has been proven by a randomized controlled trial, giving you the solutions to listen to your gut, make smarter food choices, and change your health for life.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to 40ish, you can use the exclusive code 40ish10 to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition programme to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's Zoe.com. Use code 40ish10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
This episode is sponsored by Zoe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 40ish Unfiltered. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Lauren Mishcon, and welcome to the first episode.
Well, it's the first episode of the second episode.
It is. This is a complimentary show to our podcast 40ish. 40ish Unfiltered brings you all the feedback from the week's show, where we will respond to emails, DMs. That's cool and modern, isn't it? DMs.
No.
It is. That's what the kids do.
It was cool and modern about 10 years ago.
To me, it's still cool and modern.
You say that, but then sometimes you go on these social media rampages.
Sometimes.
You
It's
did
rare.
it. You did it the other night.
Yeah, I had on YouTube.
On YouTube?
YouTube.
Well, that was surprising.
Yeah, it surprised me too.
Because you're never on YouTube, and suddenly
No.
my phone's pinging up and getting all these notifications on YouTube, and like you're having this whole conversation with this guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Basically, I got a notification pinged up on my phone. I didn't even know that was a thing, but it was, and I saw it, and I thought, no.
What do you mean you didn't know the notification?
Well, I didn't
was a
know
thing?
that we got notifications from YouTube. I didn't even really know the show was up on YouTube, but apparently it is.
Oh my god! Oh
Anyway,
my
some
God.
guy was like trying to mansplain trolling
yeah.
by men to me, the person who was trolled.
But he was also mansplaining how you should react to the trolling, which
By
I thought
men.
was fantastic.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So I
because
thought,
in a sense that is trolling.
Yeah, I thought, well, I'm not just going to let that lie. I think I'm going to reply. So I replied really polite and really respectfully. And then he replied, also, I would say, respectfully. It wasn't rude or aggressive, but very, very patronising. Very, again, like, well, I understand why you feel that way, but also you're wrong. I was like, well, also, like, it's kind of my podcast, me being trolled. So actually, I'm okay with making a decision about how to handle that. And thanks so much for your advice. But
anyway, welcome to our second show of the week. So we're going to be
Welcome.
releasing on a Thursday, which is going to be our main show. And then the following Monday, which is going to be, as we said before, just feedback, things that are going on with us this week, a little bit more of a deep dive into how it is to be 40-ish. Well, I'm nearly 50.
And also what people have been saying on social media about the dilemmas, because if you're not following that chat, then you're missing kind of the responses to the questions. So 40ish Unfiltered is just an opportunity to get more out of your 40ish listening experience. So please follow and subscribe.
Did we have any positivity on social media this week?
We had a lot of responses to the dilemma. Do you remember the woman who sent the sexually explicit text to the wrong mark?
That was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of replies about this.
Okay.
Interesting ones. Tallow32 said, how is she going to tell her husband about this kiss? And I replied and I said, well, she's divorced. There is no husband.
Yeah.
She's a divorced woman who sent a sexually explicit text to a man called Mark, who she met at a party, but she actually sent it to a school dad.
Yeah.
Called,
The wrong
also
Mark.
called
Yeah.
Mark. I said, well, she's divorced. There is no husband. So not a problem. Sammy Lennon said, why is she mortified? She was pissed. The message wasn't meant for the school dad. Just explain and don't apologise and move on.
I like that. I think that's the most sensible option.
Apple Banana 99 said, I agree. The wrong Mark would just laugh it off.
Well, you don't know.
You don't know.
You
know.
just don't know how people take to these things.
And then this is a weird one, right? This is weird. On Richie 975, if that other Mark tells her husband, she'll be more than embarrassed. So I replied saying,
Tells who husband? She's
tells
not.
her-
But she's not married.
So I said she's divorced. There is no husband.
Yeah.
If you listen into the podcast episode for the full story, you'll hear that. And then he replied, well, why have the story here? I think she is married. Okay, she says in her email, I'm divorced, but okay, if you've decided she's married, then okay.
That's a stretch, isn't it?
I know.
To just make up your own story because it's more convenient or it's more scandalous.
I've seen the clip and I've decided she's married. Okay.
Okay, why doesn't he write in some dilemmas to us? Because I reckon they'd be great.
Very weird. David Wilson said, my mate's wife sent some saucy stuff on our group message by mistake. Now I know why they're happily married and I'm divorced. It was filth. And Larry Luther, 39, said, we've all done it. I'm a carpenter and my mix-up was with a customer. Ooh, Larry.
Not the customer. That is horrendous.
Larry, imagine if you're a carpenter. I mean, there's so many jokes you can make about tools, drilling, hammering. There's just an endless amount of carpenter punning you could do there.
Well, there is, but who thinks of these things? I mean, I've never.
I would.
Well,
I would
can
think
see.
of those things.
What, when you've got a carpenter in your house?
The last carpenter I had in
met
my
your
house.
Carpenter. I've met your carpenter. I've met your carpenter. Your
God
carpenter
bless
was
him.
Your carpenter was on something.
Oh, he wasn't the carpenter. The last actual carpenter I had in my house, he's like well into his 80s. So I don't think he's even texting, let alone sending saucy texts.
The guy that built that thing a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah,
What
yeah.
is he if he's not a carpenter?
He's kind of does everything.
Does he?
Yeah, he does everything.
I mean, I think he's smoking everything. He was definitely on something. And like every day I came back to your house, I'm like, hello again. Not got very far then, have we?
He did a great job in the end.
He did eventually, yes.
Yeah,
It wasn't a
yeah.
big job, but it took a while.
You got a carpenter?
No, not on speed dial. No,
Okay.
I don't have a carpenter.
All right.
Why are you looking like
Just checking.
Like I should?
No, I'm not saying you should.
Actually,
but maybe you'd
something
want to.
really embarrassing happened to me, which I swore I wasn't going to bring to the show because it was too
You
embarrassing.
better bring it now. You've said it now.
Basically, you know the window cleaner story.
Oh, yeah. We all know the window cleaner story.
Well, for the people that don't know the window cleaner, it was our very, very first show that we released.
Yeah.
There was a dilemma about a window cleaner.
Yeah.
Anyway, it then got into the conversation about my window cleaner because Lauren does tend to see my window cleaner. He's a very nice guy, very friendly. Anyway,
Anthony.
it was a whole stop it.
Anthony.
Just stop it. Stop it. So anyway, the window cleaner comes the other week, and every time I see him, I'm just mortified that
He thinks you fancy
No,
him.
no,
because
he
of the
doesn't think I
podcast.
fancy him because just that someone might have mentioned that I have spoken about him on the podcast
Yeah,
because
yeah.
quite a lot of people from
Use
my
him.
area, yes, they have him and they messaged me
Yeah.
to say, oh my God, Anthony with like a crying emoji. Like I had a few of those messages. Someone stopped me in the gym. I've mentioned
Amazing.
this.
Yeah.
About, oh,
Yeah.
I have Anthony. I know what you mean. Like that kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Anthony's at the house and he is so friendly and chatty, as I've mentioned. Anyways, he says to me, can I use your loo?
Yeah.
So I said, sure. So he goes into the loo. Anyway, he comes, have I told you this?
No.
Have I not told
No.
you? So he comes out the loo. I can't believe I told you because I was so embarrassed. He comes out the loo. So he says,
Oh God, what?
I just can't.
What? What did he say?
He said, oh, because our awards are in there.
Yeah.
So he said, oh, you've got a podcast. My friend Sarah was there, so she can back this whole thing up.
Yeah.
She was listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she said, and before he came, I was telling her the story because he knocks on the back door and he like waves and she's like, oh, it's Anthony. And I'm like, oh my God, did you listen to the show? She said, no. So I tell her the whole background to the story. So then he goes to the toilet and then he comes out the toilet and he says, oh, you've got a podcast. I can see you've won an award. What's the podcast about? So
You. It's about you, Anthony.
So I said,
Yeah.
I don't know why I said it because that podcast was for Self-Care Club where
Yeah.
we haven't mentioned him. And I could have just gone,
You should have just gone tech. It's about tech.
it's called Self-Care Club. So he
Yeah.
said, so I said, I've actually got 2 podcasts. Why did I say this?
I don't know why.
It's called 40ish.
Yeah.
Like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? So he
Yeah.
goes, oh, what's that about? I said, oh, it's just about being a middle-aged woman. He goes,
Yeah.
oh, I'm definitely going to listen to that. And I'm going to tell my wife to listen. He goes, because I've got a big birthday coming up. So he's like, I'm all about middle age and, and well-being and all of this. He goes, I'm definitely going to listen to your show. I'm like, don't start from the beginning.
The first few months are great. Start in at like episode 6.
where you're not mentioned anymore.
You idiot.
Have I not told you this?
No.
Anyway, so he leaves.
Yeah.
And then he comes back to the door because he's so chatty. And then
Yeah.
he says to me, I'm going to really listen to that show and I'm going to feed back on what I think. And off he goes, right? And then Sarah, who heard the whole thing,
Yeah.
she's like, he has set you up. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, he knows that you've mentioned him in the show and he was looking for a way to bring it up in conversation. And now you've just fucked yourself. So now what are you going to do? Now what? He's going to come back and say, oh, you've been talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what do I do? She's like, no, I think it's done.
It's done.
The damage is
It's
done.
done. Have you seen him since?
No, I have not seen him since.
Good.
And sometimes if he messages like 24 hours before and says, oh, we're going to be coming to your road tomorrow.
Yeah.
So then I message you and say, we're working at you tomorrow.
Hello, everybody. If you are enjoying this episode, could we please request that you share it with a friend who you think could do with a laugh?
We would be so grateful. Thank you so much. And also, if you're really loving it, please rate and review it. Lauren, you know me, and you know when it comes to answering the listeners' dilemmas and when it comes to food, I always trust my gut. And I also trust Zoe, the leading science and nutrition company.
All the nutritionists that we've spoken to on Self-Care Club have highlighted just how much misleading information is out there when it comes to food. Things like the claims that you see on packaging that say things like low sugar or nothing artificial. These are often a sign to actually avoid these foods. Ever noticed a health claim on fresh fruit?
No, never.
Right, would you get my point?
So it's completely understandable why there's so much distrust and wondering who you should turn to for accurate information.
Well, it's very simple. It's not a dilemma for us. We use Zoe.
Backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests, Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to 40ish, you can use the exclusive code 40ish10 at checkout to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition program to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's Zoe.com. Use code 40ish10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
I want to go back to our question about the woman who wrote in about the new young colleague at her office who made the most terrible, terrible cups of tea.
There's been a lot of talk about tea.
Yeah, and do you put the milk in first? Do you put the tea in first?
Didn't a scientist answer?
No, he wasn't a scientist, but I have put his reply in here.
Okay.
Katie23111 said, you put the milk in last because it's easier to judge the strength of the tea to your liking. Correct. Normal and correct, yes?
Well, it's correct by our perspective, but other people thought very differently.
Carl Hammond said, she definitely needs a training day on making tea. She probably puts the milk in before the cereal as well.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. Loved that.
I think they're called Guys on a Pod. He said, I hate to be that guy, but milk first because of science. Dr. Stapley of Loughborough...
No, he's saying, because I said it's scientific that you put... It's something about how the hot water reacts with the tea bag and the flavour.
Oh, okay.
So if you put the milk in first, it takes something away from the flavour.
Right. He said, I hate to be that guy, but milk first because of science. Dr. Stapley of Loughborough University established that putting the milk in after boiling water is incorrect. It causes the milk to heat unevenly. The uneven heating of the milk causes proteins in its denatured, meaning they lose their structure.
Who cares?
He wrote this whole thing. This whole thing.
Yes.
And then 10 minutes later, he put up another post and it just said...
It's not post, comment.
Say, I feel like such a nerd after posting that.
And you wrote, so you should.
So you should. Shame on you, right?
But to be honest, I mean, I know we're like poking fun, but we do really love the comments and we do appreciate every single one. So please don't stop just because we're poking fun. It's kind of most of the fun, isn't it?
So much. I'm here.
It's hilarious.
I'm here for
it's
the
absolutely
comments.
hilarious.
I'm here for the
I
comments.
had one of my daughter's friends say to me, I picked up my daughter and her friends, they're 14, and one of them gets in the car and she goes, Nicole? I said, yeah. She goes, what's a pop sock? Which told me everything I needed to know because we put up a video on TikTok about pop socks versus Veruca socks.
Which was worse.
Yeah. And it is just a Veruca sock. I'm sorry, but it is. Oh, no, sorry. I said pop sock.
I said Veruca sock. Definitely worse.
I've changed my mind. Anyway, because I said a Veruca sock had a purpose.
Yeah.
A pop sock has no place anywhere. Yeah. Anyway, so it was just mildly mortifying that the lovely, sweet 14-year-old who's very good friends of my daughter watches our TikToks. Because a lot of them aren't as bland as pop sock versus Veruca sock.
Well, as you were saying that, I was thinking, is she going to watch this week's? Where I'm sure that Becca, our social media manager, is going to share a clip where I talk about
the throbbing cock. She already has.
Oh, you've said it.
No, you said it. She already has.
Oh, great. Okay, brilliant. Great.
She already has. Because there is no way that she wasn't going to put that up.
I'm just going to gloss over that. Pretend it didn't happen.
But the thing is that Lauren said it. She said it very off the cuff. Oh, she said, I was going to say something really rude there. And I said, well, what were you going to say? She goes, no, I'm not going to say it. I said, no, go on, say it. She goes, I was going to say throbbing cocks. Now, let me tell you something. It wasn't in context, wasn't to do with anything.
It was in context.
Not really. Loosely.
It was about sexually explicit text message.
It wasn't. You were talking about asking Ollie to get a drain unblocker.
Well, yeah.
So it wasn't about sexually explicit. You just threw the words throbbing cock in. I just think it was unnecessary.
I won't talk about it.
No, we've talked about it. So.
Okay, good, thanks.
When we see each other on a Monday, we never really speak that much over the weekend. Sometimes we don't speak at all. And so we usually have a big fat download on a Monday morning of complaints.
Yeah.
Ranting and just like what's fucked us off over the weekend. I mean, it's really positive, really, really life affirming.
It's very therapeutic though.
Is it?
Yeah.
We thought we would bring all of that
to you. We thought we'd share it with the wider audience than just each other.
You are welcome.
Yeah, you're
because
welcome.
we figured that if it's annoying us, it's probably annoying you too.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can all just complain together. How about that for some positivity? But if you want some positivity, head over to Self Care Club.
Yeah, it's not here. Okay, I'm starting.
Okay. So what do you hate this week?
The price of cinema popcorn, it cost me more than the ticket.
But is it? Do you just stop with cinema popcorn, or do you go for the drink and the chocolate and the pick and mix?
No. I'm not 5. I don't have pick and mix.
No. But when you take your kids, by the way, you don't need to be 5 to have pick and mix. You can still enjoy sweets and not be 5.
I'm not so sure.
No, you can.
No, the kids. No, it's popcorn. It's popcorn. End of. Because seriously, like $4.99 for a bag of Maltesers. Go jump in a lake.
I know. And you could take your own stuff. I mean, I have started to take my own snacks to the cinema because it's just ridiculous. You can spend 30 quid on snacks.
Right, but I don't want to take my own popcorn. I want the warm popcorn in the paper bucket.
I know, but the other day I saw them like refilling the popcorn.
Yeah.
It was probably a few months ago.
Yeah.
And he was doing it with his hands. He was like sifting it out of the massive bag with his hand. And I just thought, well, I don't know how clean your hand is. It kind of put me off the popcorn.
You can't think like that because you'd never eaten a restaurant
But I saw
for the rest of your life.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, it fucks me off. So that's the first thing that fucked me off this week.
Oh, okay. When did you go to the cinema?
I went on Tuesday.
Okay. Oh, so it's fucked you off for a full 6 days because we're recording
No,
this
it
on
doesn't.
Monday.
I don't go home with the thought of it, but just when I think about it, it annoys me. And the next time I go, it annoys me again.
You know what fucks me off?
What?
This is such a negative
Go on.
segment, but here we are in it. Man flu.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 2 parts that really annoy me about man flu is when it's not really man flu, when it's not really a flu and it's just man flu.
Cold. It's just a cold.
Well, we call that man flu,
Yeah.
right? I just can't. I just can't because I still, when I have a cold or when I have man flu, when I'm not really that ill, but I'm a little bit ill and I feel a bit under the weather, I still have to
Truck on with life.
Yeah. I still have to do the washing and do the cooking and do the pickups and I still have to run the household, right? But when man flu arises, they don't have to do any of that.
Okay, yes. And also what I hate is if I have anything, any vague symptom of anything, and then Ollie says a few hours later, do you know what? I think I might be coming down with that. And you're like, no, you're not.
What is
just
that?
let me have this one thing. Like,
I just want to be ill on my own. Why have you got to
why are you joining in?
Why are you joining in?
What is that?
I don't know, but it happens in my household too.
It happens in every heterosexual household. And also, whatever it is that you might be coming down with, they have come down with it, but worse than you.
Yeah, but then they're okay.
You've only got a headache, but I've got a headache and I think I feel a bit sick.
Or I think it's a migraine.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
It's amazing.
Okay.
But actually, in our household this weekend, we have had proper man flu.
Oh, have you? Because he looked fine this morning.
No, he's got man flu. He
looked completely fine.
This is what I mean about man
He
flu.
wasn't even sniffling.
No, he did lose his voice and he's got a horrible cough and he did feel pretty ropey.
He looked fine.
But then yesterday I offered him a cup of tea because he was in bed and he just felt rubbish. And then I just completely forgot. And I went out. And as I was sitting having coffee with my friend in Gales, as we were leaving, I'm like, oh, I didn't make him that cup of tea.
He just left him in bed to dehydrate to death.
So that is our show. Whatever that was, that is our show. We'll fine tune it. Just keep listening. We're going to fine tune it. Don't tell anybody about the window cleaner, everybody. It's all of our secrets. And if you have Anthony, if you live near me and he comes round,
Keep them.
yeah,
Zip it.
Don't
Zip it.
Don't tell him.
No.
He's a lovely guy. I enjoy talking to him. I don't need to be embarrassed. No comments. Just shut up. Anyway. You know what? Next time he comes over and you're there, you talk to him and then you will understand. You'll see how friendly and lovely he is.
I have spoken to him. I have.
Have you?
Because the last time he came...
You're going to talk to him about throbbing cocks?
No, I will not. It was a very hot day and we were in the garden and he was cleaning the windows. I won't say any more. Let's just leave it there.
He's a nice guy.
Okay. I'd stop now if I were you. You're digging yourself a deeper hole.
I'm trying to dig myself out, but it's making it worse.
It's making it worse.
We'll be back on Thursday with a brand new episode, and please stay tuned. We'll be back on Monday with 40-ish Unfiltered. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Please keep your comments coming on social media. You can email us hello@40ish, that's 40ish.co.uk, and we will be back on Thursday.
Bye-bye.